morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you guys are watching this video. Hope you guys are having a good day. But today, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about how to properly launch your 2017 to 19 F-250, maybe even 2020. Who knows when they're going to redesign it. But I'm going to show you guys what you need to do in order to launch these with ultimate power, ultimate boost, and everything all in stock form. So a lot of people on the internet don't know this. I'm sure they felt it, but they don't know why. So we're gonna go into it. But first, I gotta go run to the bank and drop some money off. So let's go do that. Right after that, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna get my tablet out and we're gonna go over all the things you need to know in order to do this and get a really good launch with the highest boost you can. Make it look like you know what you're doing if you go to race your truck in stock form. So let's jump into it. There we go, guys. We got our mortgage paid. That's a good thing. We can live there for another while. Let's go find a spot to chill and then talk for a minute while we discuss the options with this truck and how to launch it. All right, guys. So in order to do this and be able to launch your truck with full boost and everything, all you need to do is turn a dial that's already existing inside of your truck. And I'm going to show you guys that dial right now. Here it is. So that's it, guys. Ready? You see that? Whoa, Billy. Now it's in full boost mode. But now that we got our HP tuners cable, I'm gonna show you guys how you can see how much boost your truck's making and also show the improvement in boost over factory and two-wheel drive versus factory and four-wheel drive. And by factory, I mean stock tune. In order to make all the boost that it'll make right off the get-go, we need to put it in four-wheel drive. And the reason we need to put it in four-wheel drive is because Ford limits in their table the boost. Basically, they're limiting the KPA, and what KPA is, kilopasses, whatever the heck it is, I forget how you say it exactly, but it's a measurement just like we use pounds, you know, per square inch for boost. So if you guys don't know, this is HP tuners. This is what you use to actually tune a vehicle with if you're gonna tune it. HP tuners will allow you to do anything on any of the Fords pretty much, except for EGR and DPF delete. They do not support that, and the reason is they do not want to get in trouble by the EPA. Understandable. So they don't support anything like that, but they will allow you to tune your truck with the DPF on, and you can in fact make within 30 horsepower of a deleted truck with a DPF still intact. And let me show you guys what we're doing and the difference. So if you click on your trans right here at the top, and then this table pops up, as you can see, we actually go over here to torque management, and then we can see right here it says truncation. I don't know if that's truncation, but I will put the definition up. So the definition basically means to shorten or, you know, to lose a decimal. And so basically what they're doing here, and you can see, is in a stock truck, truncation is enabled. And if you look at it, truncation versus gear, we click on that, we can see right here, in first gear in two-wheel drive, we're limited to 575 foot-pounds of torque. But if you go right next door to 4x4 high, it's not limiting that much. It is some, but it's only limiting it to 900. Now, if anybody knows the specs on this truck, we know this truck makes 900 foot-pounds, 930 foot-pounds of torque. So theoretically, it is still limiting it some, and this is all based on driver demand. There's a lot more that goes into it than just this. I'm giving you guys kind of a brief explanation, at least to where you can see why the truck is limiting itself or how it's limiting itself. The way to get around this, guys, is obviously to click your truck into 4 high, but not 4 low, because if you look next to 4 low, 4 low also limits the power to 575 foot-pounds of torque. And you can see 4 high is the only one to go 900, 1,000, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200 all the way. None of these other ones do that. So it's the only way that you're actually going to get basically all of it, or all the boost, in every gear. Even in 2-wheel drive, we don't even get that. None of these gears allow us to get all that power. And as you can see in that table, in 2-wheel drive, it only lets me do 1,000 foot-pounds of torque in 4th gear. And ironically, that's when I've raced people in this truck. When it gets to 4th gear is when the truck really starts to pull, and that's when it starts to beat other trucks, or you know, other cars, whatever the case may be. It's usually in 4th gear, and it's because at that point it's basically letting it make all the boost. The problem is it can definitely take more boost sooner on, but I think Ford is scared of it blowing the tires away. And I would be too, because I mean, if you're blowing the tires away in 4th gear, you're doing probably 50 to 70 miles an hour. That's pretty fast, guys. That's pretty fast to be smoking some tires on a truck, so it can be a little bit scary. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna data log it, and I'm gonna show you guys in the data log if I can. I can't remember if I can or can't, but I'm gonna show you in the data log how you can see, or if you can see, the boost, and show you what it's read in. Okay guys, I know it's a little flickery, but as you can see right here, it's actually reading in PSI. I haven't set all this up, but if you look, intake manifold absolute pressure. So absolute means it is reading what is actual. People think that this PSI right here at idle is making 11.7 pounds of boost. That is not true. That's basically our atmosphere, guys. So in order to understand what's going on here, you have to understand a little bit about the basics of physics and the basics of our world we live in. Naturally, the air around us is roughly at our elevation about 11 to 12 psi. Now at sea level, it's 14.7. So if I were to have this truck showing you guys that same map at sea level, it'd probably show 14.7 or roughly near it. Obviously, it changes by day, and that's why vehicles need to be able to change their tune and alter things depending on atmospheric pressure. But that's what we're seeing at idle. So take that number, so the total number you're gonna see, you can take that, say it's 19 pounds, minus 11.2, because that's about where we're idling at, and that'll give you the boost that it's making over atmosphere, which is typically how you'd read boost. So that would give us, if we had 11, let's just make it 11 pounds to be simple, and we made 19. That would mean we made 8 pounds over our atmosphere, which is 8 pounds of boost in most layman's terms of how people see boost in a typical vehicle. My car made 18 pounds, made 10 pounds, made this. So I'm gonna show you guys this, what it makes in 2-wheel drive versus what it makes in 4-wheel drive, and show you the difference. So let's do that. So we got the truck in gear, foot on the brake. Now we're going to give it gas with our left foot, or we're holding the brake with our left foot, give it gas with our right, and we're gonna see and watch and see how that changes. Ready? So there you guys go. You can see 2-wheel drive, a little difficult to see. It'll make roughly about 20. So if we take it and change it to 4-wheel drive, 4 high, not 4 low, let it do its shift in progress. Now we're gonna come down here and we're gonna watch the same number. And you're ready? And as you can see, guys, it made 29.30. That's a big difference. So it went from making about 10 pounds of boost, 10 to 11 pounds of boost over atmosphere, to about 20 pounds of boost over atmosphere. So that's a pretty big deal. And I'm gonna show you how the boost gauge on the truck reads as well, because you can also see that and know that your truck is still doing it. So you can see in the top right now, we're gonna put it back in 2-wheel drive. So it's now back in 2-wheel drive. We're gonna do the same foot brake and give it gas. Barely goes up to like a quarter of the screen. Same thing, click it into 4-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive's good. Now we're gonna give it gas. So as you guys can see, that's quite a big difference in launching the truck. But enough of this computer talk showing you stuff. Let's get a video from the outside of launching it in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Now when I launch it in 2 and 4-wheel drive, I'm gonna pull the locker out so the rear diff's locked, and we're gonna launch it down the street, see what it looks like. And then in 2-wheel drive, traction control off, and then we're gonna do the same thing, 4-wheel drive, traction control off. So all right guys, test number 1, 2-wheel drive. Now test 2 and 4-wheel drive. So as you guys can see, it's quite a big difference between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Now I know it's hard to see because the truck's not super fast, but you can definitely feel it and hear it in the engine. And ultimately you can tell because my dash mat comes off my dash every time I launch it in 4 high, but when I leave it in 2 high, it doesn't launch the dash mat off. So it's getting a little dark, a little hard to see, but I want to show you guys from the inside of the truck what it looks like with a 4-wheel drive launch versus a 2-wheel drive. So let's go ahead, 2-wheel drive, and then we'll go into 4-wheel drive. You can see I got my DPF percentage filter up because I wanted to make sure we weren't in regen while doing this, and I also wanted to show you guys that you can make that come up if you go to your dealership and ask them to put that up. So again guys, we're in 2 high, and then we're gonna go foot on the brake, traction control off, and we're gonna give this guy a whirl, and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like inside the truck with 2-wheel drive versus 4. Foot on the brake, brake boosting it, boost builds, and go. And you can definitely tell in 2nd gear it winds up. Dash mat almost came off, guys. As you can see, it almost wanted to come off. This time we're clicking it to 4 high. I'm gonna roll the window down, and we're gonna watch the dash mat fly as we get it and watch the boost build up. And I'm also gonna let go right as that boost kind of hits max, because it'll hit a max and then start tapering off again, and we don't want it to fall off. We want it to carry out. So as soon as it hits about that midway point, we're gonna let off so that way it launches really good. Ready? It definitely launches, guys, a lot harder in 4 high than it does in 2 high and 4 low. So if you're ever out messing with your truck and you want to race it, and you got a 2017 to 19 F-250, maybe even newer depending on what they do in the future, that's all you got to do. And it'll absolutely keep up with other trucks that are tuned and a lot of things, because basically what those other trucks do is what Ford's doing. They're allowing the boost to come in sooner rather than later. But what a lot of people don't know is a lot of those tuners kind of do the same thing. They don't let it have all the beans in 2 high because they don't want it to just roast the tires. They'd rather you get out and roll. If I were a tuner, I'd probably limit it somewhere around 750 in 2 high in 1st gear, because what do you need? Why are you launching in 2-wheel drive anyways? That seems kind of silly. If you're trying to launch a truck, you should be in 4 high. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it's pretty cool. I've been wanting to make it for a while, so I'm kind of glad I did. If you guys want to see more content like this, with a little more in-depth on, you know, showing you all the ins and outs and how to actually see what the truck's doing, and you know, just showing you some things I know, comment down below. Say, Chad, I really like the informative stuff that you're doing right now, and comment something down below that you would like to see me talk about in a more informative way, or show you guys a little bit about. I love doing this type of stuff. This to me is where, you know, my true passion is, finding the little things and, you know, manufacturers do to allow you to have a little bit of fun. I feel like Ford didn't have to do that at all. They didn't have to put in a 4 high launch. There's no reason for them to even put more power in it, really. They could have put a little bit, like 600 foot-pounds, maybe even, like I said, 700, you know, like I would do in 2-wheel drive. But I think they did it because they like to have fun, and at the end of the day, the guy tuning the truck likes to have fun. So that should say something to whoever's out there tuning these Ford diesels and putting that in there. I appreciate you. That's pretty freaking awesome. I think it's definitely cool. But as always, keep wrenching on your own cars, keep kicking butt, you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. But it's time for you guys to get the heck out of here.